What's going on, everybody? This is Jeff with Living in Arizona, and today we are going to compare Las Vegas and Phoenix, Arizona. Why? Well, it's comparable. And Courtney, she asked a question. So, if you guys are considering moving to Phoenix and you're looking for information about Phoenix or Arizona in general, this might be a good channel for you to subscribe to. Let's dive right in here and take a look. Hi, thanks for the great videos. Not enough people post about Arizona. I was wondering, how would you compare Vegas to any city in Arizona? Mom and I live in Vegas, hate it, and are currently pondering a move to Scottsdale. We're tired of year round heat, but want friendlier people, nature, and more recreational activities, more life. Would we enjoy Arizona more? Thanks. Okay, so, oh man, that's kind of a loaded question with lots of different angles. I chose to compare Phoenix and Las Vegas in this video, but yeah, I mean, I guess it's so diverse in Arizona. It's kind of like Nevada, like Reno's different than Vegas, right? But if we just stay on subject, stay on topic here, let's go ahead and dive in here. So Vegas has Lake Mead. It has, I want to say, Red Rock Canyons, and it's got, the Grand Canyon's actually closer to Las Vegas than it is to Phoenix. So, I mean, that's cool too, right? But she's saying that there's not enough recreational stuff in Las Vegas. Now, also, you have the Strip, which to some is a recreational area, right? If you don't mind hanging out with tourists a lot. But outside of that, I mean, downtown Las Vegas is not really too exciting. Now, and I think after you do that for a while, then it's what else is there to do in Las Vegas? Golf? Go to the gym? Okay, so Phoenix has lakes, just like you guys have Lake Mead in Las Vegas. Phoenix has Canyon Lake, Lake Pleasant. So there's more lakes around Phoenix. Bartlett Lake, Horseshoe Lake, Saguaro Lake, um, Roosevelt Lake, all within close proximity. So that's a whole series of different lakes. We also have a river that's pretty close by, the Salt River, which people like to go tubing. That's a recreational thing. We have four major sports teams. Before, Las Vegas didn't used to have sports teams, but I think now they're getting the Las Vegas Raiders, right? The Oakland Raiders. Don't quote me on that. No one really knows what's going on with that because the Raiders are one of the soup sandwiches or the hot messes of the NFL. No one knows what the Raiders are doing, and I don't even think the Raiders know. But they're supposed to be moving to Las Vegas, which would give Las Vegas two professional sports teams. Remember, Arizona has the Phoenix Suns, Arizona Cardinals, Arizona Diamondbacks, and Arizona Coyotes. Las Vegas also has a hockey team called the Golden Knights. I believe they won the Stanley Cup last year. So that was interesting. But, I mean, that's something to keep in mind. Now, if gambling's your thing and you're a gamer, Phoenix has tons of casinos too. We have Auction Casino, Gila River Casino, Talking Stick Casino. There is a lot of casinos around here. You're not going to get the sports gaming. I don't think sports gaming is legal in the tribal reservations casinos, but don't quote me on that. But you can do slots, poker, stuff like that. So if you want to move to Vegas just because you want to be in the game rooms to gamble, well, you can also do that in Arizona and in Phoenix, right? So, all right, so we're talking about the recreational stuff. There's a lot more recreational stuff that we could dive in on both sides of the coin, but for the most part, Phoenix has a better zoo. We have Tempe Town Lake. We have Scottsdale, downtown Scottsdale. Really, Las Vegas lacks that. It's said that many of the Phoenix suburbs lack personality. Las Vegas really lacks personality. Outside of the Strip, once you get outside of that, I mean, you're really in like no man's land in Las Vegas. It's kind of desolate. I could see why you would say that you hate it, honestly. And I thought about moving there. I like Henderson. I like Boulder City, but at the same time, I was like, it just seemed like it wasn't going to be something that I would get bored there pretty easy, more so than even in Phoenix, right? So outside of all that, let's dive in here and talk about some of the other stuff. So I will say this: the hottest place I'd ever been, I thought, just straight up hot in the whole world at one point was Las Vegas in June or July. So Las Vegas in July is cooking hot. I found that to be really hot. I mean, Phoenix gets hot, but I don't ever remember Phoenix being that hot like it was, I think it was called Nellis Air Force Base. And it was just so dang hot. I was like, wow, this has got to be the hottest I've ever felt. But then I went to Dubai, and I think Dubai might have Vegas beat for the hottest place. I was in Dubai in July and August, and Dubai is pretty hot. That's like, it's hot and humid. But Phoenix is pretty hot. But I think Phoenix has also, the thing about Las Vegas is it also gets really cold in Las Vegas. Like you could be in downtown Las Vegas on the Strip, and it'll be like 28 degrees on New Year's Day, you know? That's pretty cold. Phoenix doesn't really get that cold, so it can be freakishly hot in Vegas and freakishly cold. Arizona gets freakishly hot, but it doesn't get freakishly cold. I don't know. It just seems like Las Vegas had more of that polar swing than Phoenix. So now there is a cost of living thing that we're going to look at here. And it looks like the overall cost of living in Las Vegas for average meals, say at a restaurant, Las Vegas is more expensive. Meal for two, mid-range restaurant, they're about the same. They're comparable. McDonald's in Arizona is a little bit expensive. It's more expensive, $7.50 for an average meal in Phoenix, $7.47 for Las Vegas. Domestic beer, a little bit more expensive in Vegas than it is in Arizona. $4 in Arizona, $5 in Vegas. So just some certain things. Cappuccino is more expensive in Phoenix. If you're looking at just regular groceries, right? Milk is more expensive in Vegas. Bread is more expensive in Vegas. Rice is more expensive in Phoenix. Eggs are more expensive in Vegas. Cheese more expensive in Phoenix. So that's interesting to see. But overall, it looks like, you're going to get a give-take on groceries. Transportation, both lack really seriously great transportation systems, and you're going to have to learn to love freeways no matter what you do. The bus system in Vegas, I've taken it. I thought it was a hot mess. I thought Phoenix has a little bit better public transportation, honestly. Down on the Strip, yeah, they've got some public transport, but man, is that crowded and congested. So I don't know about that. But we also have a light rail in Phoenix that they don't have in Vegas. They have light rail, but they don't have like the length of track that they have here. Gasoline is a little bit more expensive in Vegas as of the time this chart here was put out. Utilities, a little bit more expensive for electricity in Arizona. But yeah, that's something to keep in mind. Gym memberships on average in Arizona are $30. In Vegas, they're $25. So gym memberships are a little bit cheaper in Vegas on average. So rent per month, it's a little bit more expensive in Arizona. Arizona's got, for a one bedroom, $1,187 compared to $927 in Vegas for a one bedroom. If you're talking about a 3-bedroom apartment, $1,760 in Phoenix, $1,450 in Vegas. So that's a $300 difference there. And if you wanted to do monthly average salary in Phoenix, average median salary is $3,200, Vegas $2,900. So that's interesting to see, right? But both are fairly close. They're almost like brother and sister cities. You could almost say like cities that are like very like each other. I would have to say, for me, I would consider Albuquerque, Phoenix, Las Vegas, Tucson, San Antonio, all like brother and sister cities. They're very similar. It's kind of like comparing Boston, Philly, New York. New York's an anomaly. It's huge. But, Boston, Philly, Providence, they're all kind of got the same kind of feel to it, right? I mean, no city's the exact same, right? But that's the way I feel about that. But if you wanted to also compare taxation, for example, the state of Nevada does not have an income tax or I believe this is to be the case, whereas Arizona does have an state income tax. But it's because they have the gaming revenues that cover that tax, whereas Arizona, the only place it's legal to gamble is on an Indian reservation or a Native American reservation, right? So depending on the career, it's also going to be a little bit better for you in certain areas, right? Like if you're going into construction, the construction field tends to have more amazing jobs in Vegas just because they build these sky-rise hotels, like the Bellagio, the Venetian. So construction can be pretty interesting if you work in the field of construction in Vegas. Whereas Arizona, we get some interesting jobs, but nothing quite like the Vegas Strip or even some of the projects that have taken place in Las Vegas. If you're considering the ocean, it's about 3.5 hours to the ocean, which is Rocky Point, Mexico, from Phoenix. 5.5 hours to 6 hours to San Diego. That's some stuff to consider. Also, you're a little bit closer to Los Angeles and San Francisco from Vegas, but from Phoenix you're closer to San Diego and Rocky Point, Mexico, right? But for the most part, people would say Las Vegas is not the place to live if you love gambling and nightlife all the time, because you'll end up broke over in Las Vegas. Phoenix is a party city though, so don't think that it's not. Definitely Phoenix is a party city, but Sin City, I mean, Las Vegas can really get you trapped in that environment just because it's so entertaining, the Las Vegas night scene. But overall, I mean, if you were to say, well, what about for kids, schools, both areas don't have fantastic school systems. Phoenix might have a little bit better education system than Las Vegas and Nevada overall, but for the most part, neither of them are going to like knock your socks off, Vegas or Phoenix. But Phoenix does have some pretty decent schools if you're willing to send your kids to private schools. As far as friendly, people have said that people are just a little bit, the locals are just a little bit more friendly in Phoenix. And that's kind of the consensus. Now, there could be anomalies where people would say that people in Vegas are a little bit more friendly, but for the most part, from my experience even, I just seem to think that people in Phoenix are just a little bit more friendly. Phoenix overall is one of the friendlier cities in the country, in my opinion. Just real friendly people in Phoenix, and I stand by that. I said that in many other videos. Outside of that, I mean, there's a couple other things to consider. Thanks to Courtney for asking the question, and we'll see you guys next time. And thank you to everyone who's been liking these videos and subscribing to Living in Arizona and helping keep this channel pumping.